The match card? I don't care about the match card. That's a bonus. I always say the matches are a bonus to what you get when you go to a
Exactly.
pro wrestling event in
Boom.
Wembley. Who gives a shit? Like, who cares? Like the match card, you're selling the event, the experience, the moments that you're going to experience being there. That is why you're paying the ticket.
Here comes trouble!
It's me. It's that end to the T-shirt. Rolling once again with that BTWB, Big Trouble Ben Bishop, taking up the whole screen. And you got myself, Nikki the Good, and we are the Meatpop Express, brother. And we're back, and it's episode 2. Everybody, all aboard. Here we are, Big Trouble. What's going on?
Not much, Nick. Having myself a good morning. Got a big, tall glass of piping hot jet fuel filled to the rafters. A little hack for all you out there, all you little meat pop maniacs, meat sticks out there. Put a little protein in your coffee. Nick, you ever done that?
Yep, I did. I usually do the mocha chocolate flavor.
Mocha chocolate flavor.
That's my bag.
That's what I got. That's what I got in here too. 2 scoops, 50 grams, easy protein right in the morning. Also got some collagen for the skin, for the hair, because we got to look good because we got something coming up, Nick. Tell them again.
Brother, I haven't eaten a carb in a month, and it's because we're going to StarCast. I mean, look at this, man. You can't even peel. You can't even peel the skin off my bicep. Okay, that's how vascular I'm looking right now. That's how dehydrated I am right now.
Hey, you know
Making
what?
Sure that I can look good on screen for StarCast.
You got to be TV ready. Always got to be TV ready.
Yep.
But yeah, things are going great here, Nick. I think some of the people saw, last week I got to have a pretty surreal experience. Had Scott Steiner, Big Poppa Pump, Freakzilla in my corner, the big bad booty daddy right in my corner. And it was a hell of a day. I'm gonna get into it a little bit. It's a pretty funny story. So basically, during the day, for an indie show, what happens is, when a veteran comes in the locker room, you go over, you shake their hand, right? So I go up to Scott Steiner, and I'm like, oh my God, I've never met him before, and I was really excited because he was one of my favorites in WCW. So I went up to him, got to play cool, got to be professional, and just say, hey, Scott, my name's Ben. We're actually working tonight on the show. We're in the same segment on the show. And he was looking, he looked up, shook my hand, he looked away, kind of looked back at me, and he goes, yeah, I don't think we are. I was like, well, no, it's the first match. We're open jerking the
Big Trouble. It's because he thought you were the main dude.
Usually,
7-footer in the opening. That don't make no sense.
No, he didn't, and that's probably why he was confused. And I get it, And so, but I was like, hey, we're opening the show. He goes, oh, okay. Well, I didn't think I was doing anything. It's like, no, you're not wrestling. It's just like, you're gonna introduce me to the ring. He goes, all right, that's fine. So I felt like I started off on a bad foot with Scott Steiner, and I'm like, great, I blew it. Right, I blew it. Big bad booty daddy already hates me. But so we got to talking a little bit, and I knew he was from Atlanta. I asked him how his flight was, and I asked him if he came in from Atlanta. I'm like, do you live in Atlanta? He goes, no, I actually live by the lake.
Wow.
So come to find out, me and Scott Steiner live about 4 to 5 minutes away from each other.
Neighbors.
In Ackworth, Georgia. We're neighbors. That's why we are the new age Freakzillas, but we'll get to that. So we get to talking a little bit. His sons play college basketball. I was talking about college basketball. I think his son's going to Virginia Tech.
Nice.
One of his sons plays football at Jacksonville State. Another one is being recruited by a bunch of schools as well. Point guards. Okay, you can't believe it. Scott Steiner's kids just running the point for some of these big time schools. So yeah, we get to talk. So we get into the match, and he's kind of like, he's being cool, but he just kind of didn't seem like he was very much into it. And I'm just like, how's this going to go? He's supposed to introduce me to the ring.
Yeah.
Let's see. The music hits, the siren hit. I come out. I'm all excited. I'm on cloud 9. He's behind me with the chain metal on over his head.
Oh, love that thing.
And like, yeah, I feel like we're back in like WCW 2000, which was the best era of WCW. I'm not going to hear any other opinion. So we get to the ring. He gets the mic. And I'm just like, it's probably just going to be some half.
How is this going to go?
And so as soon as he gets that mic, he gets into it. Where are my freaks out there? Bang, bang, bang.
Freaks and peaks.
The pigs. Hit the big bad booty daddy. And one thing that Scott Steiner doesn't like is fat asses. And he points at my opponent. And I don't like you.
Good point, man. Neither do I.
And I'm here for this big son of a bitch, Big Trouble Ben Bishop. And I put up the too sweet. He too sweets me. We'll show that picture. And I was just like, this is unfreaking believable. In 2023, I'm standing in a ring, albeit a parking lot in Cambridge, Maryland. but that's besides the point. And I'm too sweet. And Scott Steiner, he had the NWO shirt on, he had the chain metal on. What an experience!
Of course,
it makes all this worth it. You know what I mean?
And what's great about Steiner, man, is that like he doesn't even need to like be in full. Like he could just bring that chain thing he puts on his head, and like that's probably like it's just like the switch. It's like from the movie Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. It's like when he turned the hat backwards. It's the same thing. When Steiner drops the big chain thing on his head, he just becomes Big Poppa Pump like almost immediately, and just a switch goes off in his head. He probably made like what, a cool 20 grand for that appearance, you think?
Wouldn't say that much, but close.
Maybe like 10K. I mean, he's, we're talking like you said.
I'll let you know off air.
Yeah, he's Big Poppa paycheck right there. Anyway, so bringing it back real quick to StarCast. So we got StarCast, and then before we get into the actual show, I got a little bit of a gripe here, and my gripe is with whoever the hell is running that StarCast Twitter account. Don't be telling us we don't have any graphic.
Come on.
I'm seeing these graphics pop up left and right, up and down. It's like this person's coming to StarCast. Well, guess what, brother? So are we. I mean, if we're not like aesthetically ready for a graphic, I don't know who is at this point. So if I got to make my own graphic, that's what I'm going to do. But I know you StarCast Twitter handle person, and I will find you in Chicago and be like, you messed up. You messed up.
Yeah.
Put us on the marquee.
You don't want this runaway train angry. You don't want the Meatpop Express coming in like a house of fire.
No,
we're going to anyway. We're going to
anyway,
but you don't want us on your bad side.
Like I said, I'm one of the 4 pillars of Photoshop, so I'll just do it myself. DIY. You know what, Nick?
It must be because we're too attractive, too handsome, too good looking to put on the poster. Maybe some of this, like, Sting probably said like, hey, you can't put these guys up there with me.
Don't put these guys next to me, man. Don't announce them close to
Dennis Rodman probably said, nah, I can't be near these guys. They're too good looking. So that's probably it, honestly. So StarCast, if you're listening, it's okay to promote good looking people. So just promote us. We're coming. We're going to be there anyway. And
enough with the good-looking discrimination. I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of it. But anyway, let's get into the actual show. And speaking of actual, we're going to start off this week with Actually Over. So Actually Over is the segment where we talk about things that, you know what, not everything's over, you Mark. So stop saying everything's over. But certain things, they're actually over. So Big Trouble, what do you got for me this week?
All right, tab me in. Let's see. I'm going to go with my top five-time actually over this week on the Meatpop Express podcast. Coming in no particular order, but we'll run through these. Michael Cole with the line of the week, comparing the ref in the Miz Tozawa match to Eddie Munster. Don't know if anybody else caught that. Really subtle. Michael Cole's been funny as hell.
It feels like he's a little bit more relaxed. Like he's relaxed. He's ready to rock.
He knows it. He probably got a huge paycheck in the past few years.
Yeah.
I love it. I actually have become such a bigger fan of Michael Cole over the past few years. Just absolutely hysterical. In the same match, LA Knight saying that the Miz is the bastard child of Biff Tannen and a frog if you threw him down the stairs. Again, how the hell did he come up with that?
Deep cuts, man. Deep cuts.
I
love me a deep cut.
A Biff Tannen reference in 2023. You got to love that. Heading over to NXT, Trick Williams. He seems pretty over. Everyone yelling, whoop that trick, singing it at him as he's coming down the ramp. And he looked pretty good. He hasn't had a lot of matches on TV, but he looked good against Ilya Dragunov, which I'm a big fan of. I think he did an admirable job for his first match. Same match, Dragunov's finish. I think it's badass. And here's the reason it's badass. It's called like the one last blow or one final blow or something like that. Simple. It's easy. He sets it up and the crowd knows when it's coming. I think that's the anatomy of a perfect finish. Simple. People can, don't try this at home, kids, but people can do it. It's not a hard one. It's not something people are like, I can never do a Phoenix Splash.
The prelude to a finish is just as important.
Just as important. And, with Austin, The Rock.
Like you knew it was coming.
Randy Orton, when that finish. Cena, know when that finish is coming.
Short arm clothesline from Jake the Snake. The DDD's coming next.
Exactly. Short arm clothesline, the DDT. Exactly. And then my final one is we're going to go to AEW Collision from last Saturday. We've been saying it nonstop, over and over. I've been singing their praises. The Iron Savages, second highest rating, and once again we called it. The second highest rating, only behind CM Punk The only one. CM Punk was 544K. Iron Savage is 507, second highest quarter hour on the show. We had Bear Bronson all over Twitter mimicking analingus. So I guess that's over at this point, brother. That's pro wrestling. We're bringing it back. Big guys talking about eating butt. So, hey,
that's it.
You know what? That's over.
It.
That's it.
We want to get over, talk about eating some, ASS. So me, I had one that stood out above it all, and it ain't AEW. It's not WWE. It's from the Deathmatch King and the Deathmatch Queen. Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander coming out in Ecto 1 at GCW Homecoming. One of the best entrances that you'll see. Cardona, I'm pretty confident he bought that car because, he's a made man. He does his own thing. He's buying that. He's making sure it's to spec as if it was like one of his action figures. And they came out rocking the gear, looking like stars because they are stars, with the downstate version of the Ghostbusters theme song, sparing no expense. Listen, it's not network TV, okay? But they lit social media on fire because that is what you are when you're actually over. Looking like $1 million, making sure that everyone knows that you're a star. And the fact that he's being true to himself. Dude loves Ghostbusters. Well, guess what? I'm going to go to GCW where they're known for death matches, and we're going to call ourselves Deathmatch Royalty against Nick Gage, okay? And we're going to come out in a Ghostbusters car, okay? To me, that's pro wrestling. That's what I enjoy about it. That's why I'm in my basement right now dressed like this. Because I'm being true to myself, just like Man SDL are. So that was actually over for me. Probably the best entrance of this year in 2023. Then I also have Will Ospreay with this promo with Jericho on Dynamite. He's talking about, he's like, I gotta pay for the college. And listen, I'm a dad. I'm saving up right now. Like, if you think colleges are expensive right now, imagine what they're gonna be when my kids are old enough to go to college. And he's got to wrestle Jericho in Wembley just to pay for it. I'm not going to be wrestling Jericho in Wembley. I mean, and then Jericho came back and he talked about how all the dirt sheets, maybe not the dirt sheets, but, the IWC talking about how this is a vanity project for him, that he doesn't really care anymore. He's just having fun. He's just using AEW just to get his, his shit in. Well, guess what? I don't think so. Guy still looks great. He's in his 50s. He's got a beautiful head of hair, still cutting promos. And guess what? That might be the biggest match on that card because he's in his homeland, man. Judas is going to be playing. You know what those crowds bring. I think those two stealing the show because you got a guy who's in his 50s who knows exactly what to do in the ring. And then you got a dude that can literally do everything in the ring. So to me, those are my two actually overs for the week. I'm just happy about where pro wrestling is right now. Pro wrestling hot right now. We got All In coming out this Sunday, right? Then we got Payback. We got StarCast. We got everything coming up. Just a great time to be a pro wrestling fan. So that's actually over. And now we're going to move into the next segment, which is Takey to Hotty. We're talking hot takes here. We're talking controversy. As Eric Bischoff would say, Eazy-E used to say, controversy, you know what it creates? Cash. So let's get into it. Take you to Hotty. Ben, tag, you're in. What do you got?
Tag me in. All right. We're going to stay on All In. We're going to stay on All In here. And a lot of people, because we have this tribalism right now in professional wrestling between WWE and AEW. And so a lot of people saying the All In card's disappointing. People saying that, if they announce the card, they wouldn't have gotten 80K people. You know what I have to say to that? Now, if you believe that, fine, whatever. But you don't have to say to that. Look at it this way. They sold 70,000 tickets without advertising one match. So obviously, the people, they don't care about the matches.
Nope.
They don't care what's going to be on the show. It's an event. And people in Europe, they love entertainment even more than we do here. They love live entertainment. They want to go. They know it's an event. They know it's the first time ever that they're running this All In Wembley Stadium. We're having a big stadium, AEW running a big stadium show. They didn't have to announce. So why is that an issue? I don't see what the issue is here.
It's because people are trying to be smart, Ben. They're trying to Big Trouble. They're trying to like think like they have one up on everyone else. Guess what?
That's what it is.
People like to just go and have fun. It's a spectacle.
That's
That's
it.
what they're going for. They're going to have a great fucking night. That's what they're
Exactly.
going for. The match card? I don't care about the match card. That's a bonus. I always say the matches are a bonus to what you get when you go to a pro wrestling event in Wembley. Who gives a shit? Like, who cares? Like the match card, you're selling the event, the experience, the moments that you're going to experience being there. That is why you're paying the ticket. You know, you see great matches all the time. Dynamite, Raw, Smack. You see them all the time. It's the circumstance that makes them big. So why don't we give these wrestlers the benefit of the doubt and just show up, pay our money, and enjoy the ride? Enjoy the Meatpop Express.
Enjoy it. Enjoy. That's all you got to do. Just enjoy it. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it goes. You know, you got guys on the show that are going to perform. They're going to go out there and they're going to leave it all on the line because it's obviously the biggest crowd majority of them have ever worked in front of. So let's see what happens. And yeah, normally what I say, maybe it's not the best way to build a pay-per-view, but hey, you know, the numbers, we're not nerds, but the numbers don't lie. And stats, you know, the stats say what they say. And they've sold the tickets. They have a record gate, or a record attendance, whatever you want to say. But yeah, I mean, what's the big deal here? And I think honestly, I would have said before last night, the Jericho Ospreay thing. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't get this. Why is this a match? They sold it last night. Now I'm all in.
That's it. That's all.
No pun intended. But now I'm all.
Now you're all in, brother. That's it, man. We just got worked. We got worked by the card name.
We did.
Yeah, so for me, I got a hot take here. This is from a fan of, I guess, our show, is that Nick Stasiak. He said, and this is basically, I think, on the back end of, obviously, the WrestleMania tickets went on sale. Everyone's gobbling them up. Hey, you going to Philly? You going to win? Cody's going to, win it all for the Rhodes family. He said he was talking about the main event. He was like, the WrestleMania Night 1 main event doesn't count as main eventing WrestleMania. Night 2 main event is the one and only true main event. So Owens, Sammy, Uso, Sasha, Bianca, sorry, they're not WrestleMania main eventers. Now, first of all, I disagree with the back end of that. They can absolutely those guys and gals, I should say, can absolutely, headline WrestleMania. But I kind of agree with that, man. Night 2, what I'll say is night 1 kind of sets the tone. And I think they're at an advantage because of how hot it is, because you got all your energy in the tank. You're ready to rock. You got a full tank of gas. But night 2 is the crescendo. Curious what you think about that, Ben, because listen, the 2-night WrestleMania ain't going anywhere. That's what it is. That's where it's going to be for the foreseeable future. So is it just where Roman is, or is it really night 2? What do you think?
No, it's first of all, it's smart they're doing 2 nights of WrestleMania because we both went to a WrestleMania. I think we were both at 35, right?
Dude, 35 was the most exhausting night of my life. And I got 2 kids, man. I haven't slept. That's why I wear the shades. I got a 7-month-old. I have not slept in 6 months. But I'll tell you right now, I'll take sleepless nights with a toddler shitting, pooping, eating, screaming before I sit ringside at WrestleMania 35 with the pillars in my face that I can't even see the entrance ever again. Sorry to interrupt, Ben.
No, 100%. I was there too. I was, and it was too long of a night. It was exhausting. After that Kofi match, it felt like kind of the air went out of the building. So the two nights is great. Now I do, and I was surprised because I was ready to defend my position. But Nick, once again, I do agree with you. We're really on the same page a lot.
It's almost like we're a tag team. It's almost like
it is.
It should have a damn graphic.
We should have a damn graphic. Starcast events. Listen, we need a graphic.
But
no, exactly. The night 1 main event. Yes, it counts as a huge milestone for whoever's in the night 1 main event of WrestleMania. But it's almost like the match right before. On indie shows, there's really 2 main events on the card. It's right before intermission, and it's the main event of the show. So you get the 2 matches. Right before intermission is usually where you put the star, like the name, the person that's there that got flown in, so they can sell gimmicks at intermission, a little bit of a inside the business type of thing, just to get the marks money. That's how you do it. But that's usually the 2 main event. That's where you put usually your 2 biggest matches right before intermission and right before the end of the show. So it is a big match. It's probably the second biggest match in night 1 of WrestleMania. It's right before intermission. You're giving people the night and to get ready for night 2. So, but again, the last match on WrestleMania weekend is the main event.
And I'm happy about that because I hate dual titles. I hate multi-titles. I want the crescendo at the end that is at the top of the pillar of the entire business.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that is the main event at WrestleMania. That's what it is right now. And I just don't see it any other way. To me, you finish the night and WrestleMania is officially over and we're putting a bow on the weekend. That last match, I agree with you, Nick. That's the main event. You can do all the semantics you want. It don't matter. That's the main event. You got anything else? Anything else spicy, Ben?
No. I think I saw another hot take. I think people complaining about the same Raw matches every week for months. It seems like we're getting a lot of the same Judgment Day versus Zayn or Cody or Owens kind of over and over. It's seeming a little bit repetitive, but to play devil's advocate to that take, you want to put the stars on TV that draw money, that draw ratings, that draw the advertising money. That's who people want to see, and they're showing that's who they want to see. Sometimes when you put it's great when you can throw people in all the time. You have a ton of people and you just throw in matches, but then you lose continuity. So you're losing continuity in your story when you're just throwing people into angles that make no sense. Is it fresh? Is it great? You see a new person. Yeah, that's good and all. But then if you had a story that was hot for 2 weeks and you go away for another 3 weeks and you come back to it, now you kind of lost momentum.
Yeah.
So does it get a little bit repetitive? Yeah, but we're also having the guys at the top of the card that it is becoming repetitive with are top stars. Yeah. These guys can do it. These guys can come out and have a fresh match and they can make it look good.
I want to see the stars on TV. That's what I'm tuning in for. Like, that's why the Attitude Era was so great. It's because they had so many damn stars that every segment was just filled with a star. Even a guy who's in the mid card is a major star. D'Lo Brown was a star. Val Venus was a star. Those guys in the middle, they all had star power. When their music hit, the freaking crowd rose up to the top. Al Snow's music hit. You had people with mannequin heads that brought that shit to the arena. People actually traveled with mannequin heads, showed up with a sign that said, "I want head," and they put it in the air just for when Al Snow came out. And Austin was on that card. Mankind was on the card. Taker was on that card. But they still brought a mannequin head. And they had to get that mannequin head from somewhere. I don't know if they got it from WWE Shop, if the Shop Zone even existed at that time. I don't even know. But maybe they cut a mannequin heads off at Macy's and brought it to the show. I don't know what these damn crazy-ass marks are capable of. But yeah, so I would say I want the stars on TV. And to that point, one of the takes that I saw is that people were like, there was one take, I can't remember who said it on Twitter, but they were like, oh, this is what I want, finally, because, AEW got into a match right away versus, an opening promo. And I'm like, you kind of think that maybe wrestling's hot right now because people with the mic are talking and they're drawing you in a little bit. Like, don't you think that there's something to the fact that Jericho and Ospreay just sold a match without having to have a wrestling match, like beforehand or repeat a wrestling match? Listen, I'll say it again, character and the promos, they said everything else for success. The match is just, it's a bonus. It's a bonus. And you're going to have your classics. That's what you come away from the actual show remembering, be like, wow, that was an incredible match. But you still got to get people inside the arena. You still got to get people tuning in. And when I know MJF has a mic in his hand, when I know CM Punk is going to have a mic in his hand, I tell you what, I make sure my channel is turned to wherever the hell they're going to be.
It's the anticipation. The anticipation selling it. Jericho and Ospreay, they didn't touch last night.
No.
They didn't. But besides him pie facing Ospreay and then them going at it, people having to hold him back. If they got into a big schmoz and somebody got the best of the other one, it kind of loses its luster a little bit.
Yeah.
Now everyone's like, what's going to happen? No one has any idea what's going to happen in this match. What are they going to do? Who's going to, what's the who's going to get the win? No one knows. No one knows. That's what's great about it. And now I'm sold on the match.
Yep. Last thing I'll just say is I got one take from Jay's Weird Brain at Jay's Weird Brain. I just wanted to shout that guy out, but he said, I don't get Darby Allin. I don't know if we're supposed to get Darby Allin. He's a little bit of an enigma.
Point.
I think that, he's been with Sting for a long time now. And what I'll say is that at least he's got a character. Something there.
Yeah.
There's something there.
He's got that kind of like that unspoken charisma, that the Jeff Hardy had.
He does. Like, he doesn't need to talk. Like, he does not need to talk. He could talk a little, like, just talk a little bit. You don't got to go out there and cut 20-minute, depositions. But
And the thing here is that you got to remember that like his character fits the majority of wrestling fans.
Yes.
His kind of anarchy, antisocial, that kind of thing. That fits the majority of wrestling fans. It just, I don't know. This isn't a secret, folks, but go to wrestling shows and see who's there, and you're gonna get an idea of why Darby Allin's over. Same reason Moxley's over. Anarchist, right? The badass, the guy who's not gonna listen to authority. Same thing. That's what these people like to see. People that like characters like the Joker, characters like that. Like the villain. They like guys like that.
Yeah.
They want to see guys like
they want chaos. They like people that are just going against the machine, right?
Exactly.
There's a romanticism there.
Absolutely. Right? So the majority of wrestling fans, that's what they like, and that's why the characters like Darby Allin are over. The emo, the skateboarding, anti-culture, subculture, whatever you want to call it. There's a market for that.
Yeah, and for the record, before we move into the next segment here, which is the SYXX PAC challenge, before we move into the next segment, I just want to let you all know, you all can trust exactly what we're saying, because as you know, we are journalists. We are credentialed journalists at StarCast.
Credentialed.
Just want to remind you guys that. So when we say things, it's because we're coming from a place of, hey, man, these guys have really done their research. We have gone, we've studied the tape, and that's kind of why. We don't fit those. By the way, we don't fit those wrestling fans.
No,
just letting you know, we don't fit them, but we got nothing against them. We love them. Let's move into the next segment here. It's the SYXX PAC challenge, and man, I'm excited about this one because it's something.
Oh yeah,
I feel like I came unprepared based off my complexion right now, but we're talking the greatest tans in pro wrestling history. And Ben, I think I went first last time, so right now it's to you.
Not sure if you did, but I'll go first. You gave it to me. You gave it to me. I'm going first.
Shit.
I'm going first. So best tans. I saw a tweet. Hogan sent this out maybe like 2 years ago, or it was on Facebook. It was something. One of these social media gimmicks. Hogan said, "I was never tan enough, brother." The fact that the guy with the greatest tans of all time said, "I was never tan enough," just goes to show you how important a tan is in wrestling. Arn Anderson also said, "Hey, fat looks better brown."
It does.
So hey, if you're chubby, get a tan. You're going to look 100 times better. So let's get into it. Number one, I got to go with the number one. I got to go with the Hulkster in 96 Bash at the Beach.
Yep.
Coming out, beginning of the NWO. It looked like he walked straight out of the tanning bed, right into the ring to drop that big leg on Randy Savage and start probably the greatest faction of all time in wrestling history. Right? No wonder they took off.
Man.
I mean, he's coming out there looking like $1 million with that tan. He had the yellow on too, which accentuates the tan even more. It got to be number one pick. Had to be Hogan. 96 Bash at the Beach.
If you got a tan, you're the man. For me, my number one pick, and this is gonna surprise you, Ben. I don't think that you got this on your list. I'm going with The Miz from WrestleMania 27. This guy, I don't know what color this was. Like, it looked like one of those default colors that you get the back, like when you get your computer and you upgrade your computer and you get one of those like default backgrounds. This guy was like dripping tanning oil, dripping. Like he must have been in a booth in Gorilla, because I don't know if you can see a picture of this right now.
Oh, I'm looking. Look at that.
Dude, this tan is the most underrated, underappreciated tan I've ever seen in my life. Like, even when he hits the awesome thing, like, so when he does his entrance and he hits the two awesome, like they had like those big white things, if you look closely, brother, I'm confident you could see the imprints, because the tanning, like oil and the spray tan was palpitating that night, dude. It's one of the most underrated tans of all time. But what happened? Who left with the gold? The man with the golden tan, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Miz knows. He knows how important a tan is. So he knew that was the biggest match of his life.
Dude, it was in his roots and everything, and the hair, like just the roots were like, get the
funny
oil
story
away from me.
Funny story about him, and I'm sure the guy wouldn't mind me telling it, but James Ellsworth told me that on WrestleMania 33. They had to change outside in Orlando, so they had like a tent where their locker.
I was there. I was there.
Were you there? You were at that one?
No, dude,
and
I guess Got
And
the
I
hat.
guess, oh, that is 33. Wow. Yeah. So you remember Ellsworth walking Carmelo to the ring, taking a few suplexes.
Yep.
So he was telling me that Miz was really upset because he had this change outside and his tan was dripping
Dude.
off of him. And they said, rest in peace. And Luke Harper was there and just like giving him shit for it. But he's like, I'll just deal with it. Cause like, Ellsworth, Harper, they're indie guys.
Yeah.
They're used to this. We're used to getting changed in hot, cramped areas. That's just a funny story. His tan, he just got out of the tanning bed and it was dripping off him because of the sweat from being outside in Orlando.
Well,
So you go.
I was on to something there then.
Miz takes it serious. He takes it serious.
All right, Tag, back to you.
All right, here we go. Here's one that's also out of left field. I'm going to go with, this is from 1990, Saturday night's main event. Saddle up to the fragrance that reigns supreme. It only makes good horse sense. Today's man in a classic can, the fragrance that pins down the competition. The only fragrance that primes pistons, makes sparks plugs go harder, and improves your engine performance. We're going with the model Rick Martel in 1990. Yup, the arrogance.
Yeah.
Oh, the cologne, the arrogance. He had that.
Something we don't have. We don't have arrogance.
No,
Me and
of course
you,
not. We're humble.
We don't have arrogance.
The handsome, humble hunks. That's what we are.
Yes.
But Triple H, is that taken? Only the arrogant spray, these commercials, Rick Bartel. I mean, obviously, probably one of the most underrated bodies in pro wrestling. Ripped to the gills, looked incredible. Had the women around him, had the big flowy hair. He had that snobby, a-hole French Canadian accent as well, because we know Vince loved the foreign heels. If you were foreign, you're a bad guy.
You're booked, brother. You're booked.
Eyes.
You're on the card.
And Rick Martel was a hell of a heel, and he came out and he was just, talking about the arrogance, it was over to me. It's over to me. I was watching this commercial yesterday, dying with all the stupid puns you had of all the scenes.
That's like
if we could show it, we should show it because it was
incredible. We could show it, brother.
Those vignettes were great.
I got just a special place in my heart for that era. They just did these like. Everything it's so gold if you just go back. I encourage some people to watch any of these like vignettes. Like these guys, like you're just the model. That's your character. You're Rick the Model Martel, and like arrogance when he sprayed it in Jake the Snake's eye, and Jake the Snake's eye basically like fell out of its orbital bone, and it like scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I also fucking hated the model for doing that. All right, so back to me. My second round pick in the SYXX PAC challenge. I'm going with Vince McMahon from Backlash 2006. That's where they get the meme from, the GIF. If you're looking for that, like, that GIF of Vince McMahon super tan, that's coming from Backlash 2006. I think it's paint. I don't even think this is a real tan. I think it's actual paint that they used to put it on Vinnie Mac here, man. Like his teeth were just all out. His eyes were popping out, and he had a little bit of the grays coming in. Like it was just an absolute I don't know what it was, but this tan on Vince just stood out more so. And he's had some interesting tans. He's had like the pink tan with when he used to wear all like the light suits and everything. When he started with that terrible haircut, when he got rid of the flow, when he started doing like the shorter trim, like high and tight. But this tan, if you go check it out, and I'll put the pictures here, 2006 Backlash Vince McMahon. That's my second round pick. Nobody does it better than Vinnie Mac.
That's a good one. Imagine being Vince McMahon's spray tan artist. It's not dark enough. It's not dark.
He
would probably, knowing how competitive that guy is, I bet you he was walking around backstage looking at guys, like in 2006, Randy Orton, Triple H, all these guys with tans. Like, I gotta have a better tan than them. He is. He is. So I would be, shading my pants being Vince McMahon spray tan artist. All right. Well, I just mentioned him, but number 3, my third pick, I got to go with the Viper, Randy Orton. And
I know. Can I guess?
Yeah, sure.
The Viper. This is going to be WrestleMania 25.
Oh, wow. You got it. You hit the nail on the head. WrestleMania 25 versus Triple H.
He was.
You got to be kidding. You got to be kidding. That's why we're the best tag team in wrestling podcasting. There you go. See, we read each other's minds. Great minds think alike. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to be said about it. Randy Orton's had great tans over the years, but 2009 versus Triple H. Hard to go on after Shawn and Taker. Really tough.
Might as
Tough
well have
spot.
a tan if you're gonna, though.
Tough spot to be. You got to look the best you can, and Orton takes pride in that. Glistening head to toe, looking great. Yeah. So I would say his tan was Hogan level. I'd say I'd give him Hogan circa 96, 97 there with that tan.
When Orton's got the real good tan, like his abs are just like, they look like they just literally been carved into his body.
Insane.
He knows what he's doing. Probably was on a little bit of gear at the time too.
Oh, I'm sure gassed up a little bit.
But who knows? He was gassed up. And if he is, good for him. I wish I was gassed up right now. I wish I was on some of the
Maybe
gear.
we'll go through a cycle, Nick.
My third round pick is going to be, and man, this was tough because we're going to have a few honorable mentions here. But this one, man, we already mentioned Hogan, so I'm going to keep a Hogan. I'm going to go with, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention him, Matt Cardona's AEW debut. If you remember, he came out to save Cody, and he did the thing where he did this like shirt rip where he like ripped his shirt off, like probably practiced it 10 million times. You can't have a list with tans without having Matt Cardona on it. But on this occasion, it was just wild. I mean, his tan was something where, like, again, like he had like the point where like I think he was like growing out like the chest hair a little bit. The chest hair was tanned. Okay. His chest hair was tanned. It was just completely consumed with whatever product he was, just pushing into the pores, brother. That's what was happening. So I'm going with Matt Cardona because, listen, I've seen the guy in person, obviously, on the day job working at Barstool, we've interviewed him. I've seen the tan in person. Listen, I don't think you could have a Mount Rushmore of tan. I don't think you could have any list of tanning without having Matt Cardona listed. So that's my third round pick. It's Matt Cardona's AEW debut, and I think maybe his last appearance. I think he had one more match.
Yeah, one more match. Yeah, he had a match.
So he came in with the tan, and then that's it, man. He was like, listen, if I'm going to show up one night, I'm going to have the best tan you've ever seen, and I'm going to rip my shirt off as if I've rehearsed it 35 times.
And then he became the biggest name on the indies a couple months later.
And still is. He's the deathmatch king. He's the indie god. He's literally everything. Any nickname under the sun, $1,000 broke, you name it. What do you got as far as honorable mention?
Honorable mention, I'm going to kick it to MLW, actually, and give it to good brother Alex Hammerstone. His match against Jacob Fatu a few years back. I forgot the exact name of the event. I think it was in Philly, though. And he knew he had the Hogan gear on. He had the red and yellow, and his tan was probably underratedly one of the best tans in wrestling history. So I got to give it to him. Obviously, he's the guy. The guy is stacked, enormous, he's big. He's all he's got muscles on muscles. So he made that tan look good, and really was looking like Hogan. He was. If you put Hogan's face on his body, you would have been like, that's Hulk Hogan.
Yep, I got a few tans here. Two of the Hulksters. We got Hogan just from '98 in general. Hogan 1989 WrestleMania 5.
Yep.
Up against Macho Man. That was a sick tan. And then lastly, my last honorable mention is Mr. President, former President Trump, WrestleMania 23. I mean, it was just his regular tan, the orange stuff. But I mean, it's pretty iconic. You got to put him in there. He's a Hall of Famer. He has that tan. I don't think it was special for that night. It's just, he's orange.
That's it. And folks, we're not getting political. We're not getting political.
No,
we're
talking
straight
I'm
wrestling.
Just talking tans. That's it.
We're talking straight wrestling.
Like I said, I'm a journalist. I'm an unbiased journalist.
Unbiased. You got to say
about politics.
You got to mention Papa Don. You got to mention him.
There's a list about tans in pro wrestling, and he's
on it.
WrestleMania 23, brother. Anyway, speaking of brothers, man, our brother count is going to be going up this week.
Oh, brother.
We're going to have the most famous segment in all of podcasting. That's not going to work for me, brother. And this segment is just things that the Hulkster would not be okay with. He's behind my back right now. Ben, I'll kick it to you. What's not going to work for the Hulkster this week, brother?
What a headline I saw. Maybe it was a week or a week and a half ago. I saw it, and Hulk Hogan saying he did not want to work with Dustin Rhodes because his arms were too. Is there more of a Hulk Hogan sentence than that? You're not going to be in the main
event. Say it again
because
I coughed over. Say it again.
Hulk Hogan saying he did not want to work with Dustin Rhodes because his arms were too skinny. What? It's like you know what? I'm not even surprised. That is the most Hulk Hogan comment. You know, you're not working in the main event with me. Your arms aren't matching up to mine. And you know what? Dustin Rhodes is a great wrestler. He's a legend. He's an absolute legend. This is one of the greatest gimmicks of all time. One of the best underrated wrestlers of all time. Dustin Rhodes,
big bastard too. He's like 6'7".
Oh, he is. He's a 6'6", 6'7". I'm taller, but you know, it's who's counting. But he is but Hogan, you know, he knew what he wanted. Hogan knew what he wanted, and he said, "Hey, brother, up against me, it's not gonna look right."
He's got the Jake the Snake arms. Like he's got the same as like the Jake the Snake body.
Exactly. And hey, you know, not everyone's, you know, genetically superior like a Hogan. You know, maybe he wasn't taking the gas, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. But Hogan knew what he wanted, and he was running the show at that time, so people are going to listen to him. I mean, I do kind of get it. Because if you're on the top of the card, you know, you really have to look the part. You got to look the part. And an indie match,
especially back then.
Exactly. And I feel this, you know, because on indie matches, you know, if I go to a show and I have to have an 8 to 10 to 12 minute match with somebody, and it's a guy who looks like who should be parking cars outside the venue.
If it's a less better looking, better in shape me, is what you're trying to say.
Well, you know what, yes, but no, Nick, you should never be parking cars. Come on, you're there parking your Ferrari.
No, I would never. Yeah, no, I have 2 cars. I would never.
Exactly. If it was a vertically challenged guy, and you know he wasn't in shape and he wasn't handsome, and I had to put on an 8 to 10 minute match. Doesn't make sense. Why? It should be a squash, brother.
Right, brother.
I should be getting my paycheck after a minute and a half in the ring, brother. Come on.
Big boot, you know what? The Meatpop drop, and then we go home.
Meatpop drop. We're going home. Let's sell some gimmicks. Let's sell some stuff at the merch table. Let's take the Mark's money. But good on the Hulkster. Hey, he's holding people accountable. So how can you say it? But hey, that didn't work for him, brother, and it doesn't work for me.
For me, that's not going to work for me, brother. It comes from a little bit of WWE Raw. You had Matt Riddle out there. They get attacked by the Viking Raiders, and Valhalla comes in, and she takes her stanky ass, stinky Viking feet and Viking breath and just blows it in Matt Riddle's face. And he was like, if you're the Hulkster, man, you're not signing up for these spots. First of all, I'm wearing the big red boots. I'm wearing the black boots with the lightning bolts coming up the side. Cover your feet when you're in the ring with the Hulkster. If you're not Yokozuna or Snuka, okay, get your stanky feet in some boots. Wear some closed-toe shoes. I don't know what was going on in that match, but the Hulkster's not signing up for all of that feet out there. You got Riddle's feet. You got Valhalla's feet. You got the Viking breath going on in that ring. Hogan's not doing that, brother. He's not signing up for that, that spot right there. You're not going to be doing no Jerry Lawler, you know, stuffing your foot, you know, in your own mouth type deal with Bret Hart. Hogan's like, listen, pal, the only feet we're talking is my size 16 boot right to your face, and then my big ass tan thigh dropping on your jugular, brother. And then we're going home, and I'll pay for the private flights home because we just sold out the Superdome. That's not going to work for me, brother. Get your feet in some shoes, all right? Get some feet in shoes. It's 2023. Close up the feet. We know how you feel.
We know how you feel about flip-flops.
Oh, they're gross. Disgusting. And if you wear flip-flops and jeans, man, you may as well just be kicked out of the business. And to you, Marks and Starcast, listen, I know we're going to have a line out the door, Ben, but if you're rocking flip-flops inside that hotel, okay, I'm not signing an autograph.
That's a big boot right to the smush.
No, I'm hitting you with my finish. Okay, and that's it.
That's it. Anyway, what's your finish, Nick?
I'm thinking about it. I gotta
thinking about it. All right, we got to know it for the next show.
Figure it out. But there's gonna be a finish there. Maybe like I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna come up with a finishing move. By next week, I'll have a finishing move, and I will debut the name, and then I will try and visually explain what it is. But next week will be a Starcast, so we got to figure out the episode for next week as well. So we're gonna finish up the show. We're gonna close up the show with a little bit of get your shit in. So this is where we're gonna plug the shit out of ourselves. Ben, Big Trouble, what do we got going on? Give me your handle, and what do you got? What do you got going on?
At Big Trouble BB on Twitter, Instagram, newly on TikTok. I gotta get those numbers up because numbers don't Live. Really forgetting my shit in this week. We're gonna promote the shit out of this. We're going to StarCast, folks. If you haven't heard, now you know. We will be there. We are going to be there. We are going to be raising hell. We're going to be quaking the earth, shaking the pillars of heaven, make everyone's jaw drop, meat popping, never jobbing. You're going to see us at StarCast. You're going to see me 7 feet tall, 6'12", whatever you want to say, walking through that sumbitch, making everybody respect me everywhere I go. And you're going to see Nick right beside me, looking jacked, looking jacked on the shoulder, all over. You're going to see us. We're going to be the two most handsome guys there. And let me say this, folks, if you're going to StarCast, please, for the love of all that is holy, please wear deodorant. God, clean up, wash yourself, deodorant. I don't want to see the bad breath. I don't want to be taking pictures with people who stink. So please wear deodorant, brush your teeth.
Yep.
Wash your face.
Good idea.
Shouldn't have to tell grown men and women this.
We got the shades on, but I'm not trying to plug the old nose gear. Okay, I would like to keep my nostrils open. Get your shit in for me. You can follow me at Nikki the Good on Twitter, on TikTok, and if you want to follow the Meatpop Express, we are at Meatpop Express on TikTok, on Twitter, on YouTube, but on that Instagram gimmick, brother, we are at the Meatpop Express.
The Meatpop.
Make sure to follow us everywhere. Make sure to say hi to us at StarCast. You're gonna see us. Trust me on that, brother. Like I'm Jake the Snake. Trust me. And with that said, Ben, you got anything else for these marks, and especially at StarCast Events on Twitter?
StarCast Events, you better put these handsome mugs on the graphic, or we're going to do it ourselves.
That's right.
We're the big boys. This is where the big boys play. Meatpop Express.
Look at the adjective. Later, Mark.